Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the retro card version of Flint by Hasbro. Now so far I've been really liking these retro figures. I've been liking them overall. I think they're really good figures and a really good callback to the original G.I. Joe American Hero line. So don't forget to check out my membership program. For a low monthly fee, you get a whole lot of extras that other folks don't get to see. So, with that being said, roll that intro. All right. So here he is in packaging. I love the packaging for him. It's definitely that retro card look to him. So first off, you got your choking hazards up here, age restriction, G.I. Joe. You got him in this clamshell so you can see him, all his accessories. And then you have some art based off of the original card back. Now, I don't know why they actually change it because if you look at this, he's still in the original position that he is on the original card back, but I don't know, it's slightly different. It's made to look a little bit more cartoony. So it does look like it, but doesn't look like it, if you get what I'm saying. And then you switch it around here. All right. You got his file card, G.I. Joe, everybody that's part of this line, and you got your legal underneath. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. For the most part, I think he's a pretty decent looking figure. I like the overall look to him. So let's start getting into his points of articulation. So the head does move. All right, you got a shoulder joint with a swivel. Got an elbow joint and a wrist joint. All right. Just other arm up. Do have a joint right here underneath the ribs. Now the nice thing is his ammo belts here do give enough play to where you can actually move the body around without it really restricting it. I do like that. Now you should also have a joint here at the thigh or the hips. I'm sorry, these would be more considered the hips. All right, he does have a thigh joint with a swivel. Get that swivel moving. There we go. He has a knee joint. There should be a swivel at the top of the boot. And then his ankle joint. All right. So everything seems to move pretty well on this guy with no real issues. Now, real quick, because he's part of the retro line, he does come with a stand, which I always liked about the retro figures, that they actually come with stands. So because he's a Joe, he got the Joe star on his stand, which is really nice. And it's a 2-peg, so that way you could get him on there pretty darn solid like. And he's going to probably make a liar out of him. Oh, there we go. Okay. So everything seems to move pretty well on him. So now let's start taking a look at his details. So first off is the head sculpt. I do like it. It's a friendlier look. He has like sort of like a smile to his face. You know? And you got this side here. And you come around to that side. So I don't have any real problems with the head sculpt for this one. I think it looks pretty cool. And now you start getting down into the body. As I said, his ammo belts give enough movement. Plus, you can also pull him down a little bit. You can see his airborne rank right here. All right. And then the shoulder pieces here are red. All right. I don't know if that's any kind of military significance, but it is like that. All right. Then both his belt buckles are gold. He has a standard brown and green camouflage. Okay, bring him around this way. All right, he has his gun holster here. He has, I believe that's a British style type boot with the green up top and the black underneath. So I like how the boots are done on him. All right, then you come around to his back here and around to this side where this arm is down. They even put detailing onto his watch, so you even get numbers on there, which is really nice. And back around to the front. So overall, I think he's a pretty decent figure. So now let's take a good look at his accessories. So first off, he comes with a couple hands. So he comes with 2 closed fists. 1 and 2. All right. Comes with a pointing hand. All right. And an open hand. All right. He comes with a shotgun. All right. A pistol. And it does have a hole here in the barrel, so if you want to add a blast effect to it, you can. I believe the shotgun has the same thing, yes. But now, back to the shotgun. As you can see, it's bent, so it has some warpage in it. You could probably heat it up or even take your fingers and probably kind of bend it back into place like that. So that's a minor issue, but it is there. Got his backpack. I like the factor that they made sure that they painted the dynamite on his back actually red. Find that kind of funny. And then last but not least, you have his iconic beret. So right off the cuff, that's what we're going to start with. All right. So there you go. He does have the beret on. Spin around to the back here. Put his backpack on. All right. That went on pretty easily. No issues. All right. Let's do the pistol and the shotgun. All right. So that pistol fits pretty nicely in there. All right. And both weapons fit well in his hands. No issues with either of them. Pistol whoop, sits nicely in there. And now, of course, if you got a shotgun, you have to do a two-handed hold with it. It's like a law or something. Oops, almost had it in there. There we go. Just got to get that thumb around it. All right, there you go. So the shotgun fits very well in his hands. No issues with that. And now let's start looking at the alternative hands. Pull that off. Let's get a closed fist in there. And an open hand. Oh, the other fist. There we go. All right, so both closed fists work well with him. No issues. And then you got your pointing hand and your open hand. So this and this. All right, so your other two hands fit well with him. No issues. So everything seems to work pretty well with this figure. All right, so here's the two Flints together. Now, I don't know, it might be the stand. Yeah, it's the stand. The stand for him will make him look a little bit taller, even though they're both basically the same size. So right off the cuff, let's take a good look at the head sculpts. So you look at the retro one, he's a happier looking Flint with a nice smile. And then you look at the classified one. I'm sorry, can't talk today. Classified one, and you can see that he has a more rugged, used look. If you spin him a little bit this way, you can see a scar on his face and what have you. And on his beret, his emblem seems a little bit more pronounced opposed to the, the retro one. And then you get into their belts. The shell casings look pretty good, but he has more of an armament to him opposed to this Flint where he's just open shirt, which makes sense because that's how the original one looked. And then if you look at the arms compared to each other, All right, he has a rolled up sleeve. He doesn't. His watch actually shows the time. His doesn't. He has some extra stuff on his belt as well. So when you move his arm out of the way, you can see some extra gear. All right, coming back around to the front with these two. All right. He has more armament on his legs. So he has, knee pads, shin guards, and what have you. So, and he has a green with a darker green camo opposed to the retro one where it's the brown and green. All right, let's spin him around to the back. All right. They both have a leg holster for their pistol, but his has an extra strap. So when you look at it, you get this old strap here that makes it a little bit more secured onto him. I do like that. All right. He has a spot for his backpack. There's no spot to hook up a backpack, but he does have a spot for his shotgun on the back. So that's pretty nice. So overall, I think they're two good Flints. They're different enough to where you would want both of them because obviously they have two totally different armaments. So I kind of like that they're like not just like an off shot of each other, like just a couple of small differences. No, there's a lot of big differences between these two Flints. So it's just not a repaint. They're two totally different figures, and I like that. All right, so let's get into my final thoughts with him. First off, all his joints move very well. No issues with any of that. All his accessories fit very well on him. No issues with that. And I do like the overall look to him. Now, with him compared to the other Flint, the classified version, they're two very different figures, and I like that. So, both of them have their own pros and cons. Obviously, this one has a more retro look to them. With the other Flint, I actually did like the head sculpt of that one better than I like this one. I thought it was a lot more rugged and worn in type look. But overall, I feel like this one, like how his body is, accessories, I kind of like this one from basically the neck down better than the other one. Though it did have its own good things, like that one had, the bulletproof armor, the knee pads, and even some armament on his boots, which works well for that figure. So, comparing the two figures, they both have their good and bads. They're both different, so I would probably recommend getting both of them just because they're not carbon copies and repaints of each other. So, would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. I think he's a great looking figure. He definitely has that retro, real American hero look to him. So I like the overall look to this figure. So with that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my G.I. Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.